What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/AmITheButthole. Alright, this story's called, Am I the Antagonist Butthole Person for Inviting My Dad's Girlfriend over My Real Mom to Spend the Day with Me? My 17 female parents got divorced 6 years ago. My mom quickly remarried, and my dad has been seeing his new girlfriend for nearly 2 years now. I now live at mom's house for 2 weeks, then switch over to dad's house for the next 2 weeks. My relationship with my mom has always been difficult. I always felt like my mom wished for a more girly daughter so we could do classical mother-daughter activities together, but I'm simply not that person my mom wants me to be. I've always been more tomboyish and been into sports, especially tennis since I was a little girl, something my mom never truly understood or made an effort to be interested in. As a result, my mom and I never had the close mother-daughter relationship I feel like my mom wished for us to have. Now, my relationship with my dad has been the polar opposite. My dad and I always got along great, and I have always been a daddy's girl. But when my dad introduced me to his new girlfriend, Julia, I instantly disliked her. My younger me thought she was stealing my dad from me. Her being relatively young, 27 when they began dating, and how I unfairly stereotyped her at first, vapid, pretty girl certainly didn't make me like her either. But my younger me misjudged her, and she's honestly pretty great. She always supported me, showed an interest in my passions, showed up to my tennis matches, something my mom didn't bother to do, and has been a great person all around. I'm now ashamed to admit this, but I didn't recognize this until around 3 months ago, and have been acting pretty horrible towards her before that. The problem? Second last weekend, I had a tennis tournament where I got second place. For the second place, I won a spa day for me and a guest. I decided to invite Julia, my dad's girlfriend, to thank her for supporting me and dealing with my horrible behavior. You won't believe how happy she was when I invited her. But when I returned to my mom's place on Sunday evening, my mom kind of assumed I would invite her as my guest for the spa day. She seemed to really look forward to it. When I awkwardly told her that I already invited Julia, she was disappointed and sad. Since then, she has acted downcast and moody, and we haven't really talked. I tried to explain the situation to her, but she won't listen. Now I feel horrible. I feel like I really hurt my mom, and I feel like I chose Julia over her. Am I the antagonist for inviting my dad's girlfriend over my mom to spend the day with me? Absolutely not. What? She's just a jerk for taking it so personally. If she wanted to be involved, if she wanted the goodie she had, you have to invest your time. You have to be interested. God, mom's being a jerk. Go Julia. Alright, let's look at the update-a-roni for, Am I an antagonist for inviting my dad's girlfriend over my real mom to spend the day with me? Sorry for the late update. It has been a busy 2 weeks. First of all, I would like to thank everyone for taking the time to read and reply to my post. I have read every response and I appreciate all the input. I've been putting off talking to my mom until Sunday, a week ago, when I finally found a good opportunity to talk to her. I told my mom that I love her, that I didn't intend to hurt her by inviting Julia, and that I feel terrible for hurting her. I also explained to her why I invited Julia. This time she seemed to listen, and reassured her that me inviting Julia doesn't mean we can't have our own spa day, or that I chose Julia over her, because she is still my mom, and I'll always love her. Then I showed her the websites of some spa places that I had looked up beforehand, and offered to pay for part of the costs. I know some people advised against it, but I think it's a small but important gesture to show my mom how much she means to me. My mom seemed really excited to go on one of them with me, and said I wouldn't have to pay a cent. Then came the hard part for me. I told my mom that I feel like she never supported me in my interests, and it hurts me that she can't even be bothered to show up to my tennis matches. I also expressed my feelings that I always felt like she wished for a more girly daughter, and how this hurt me. At first, my mom got pretty defensive. She tried to deny it, but I was adamant, and in the end, when she saw how important this was for me, she apologized and promised to improve. Later at dinner, my mom asked me if I would like to go to a nearby climbing park with her and my stepdad in the future. I instantly agreed and was so happy because going to a climbing park isn't something my mom would normally suggest. I feel like it means she genuinely listened to me and tried to truly improve our relationship. It has been a week now since I talked to my mom, and I'm in good spirits, thoughts, as I hope our relationship will improve. I'm also hopeful we find our own mother-daughter thing in the future. Thanks again, Reddit, for your input. Wow, what a cute little story. That's the ideal ending. Everyone gets their feelings communicated, and everyone's happy, and stuff gets better. So yes, Mom was initially the butthole. Now no one is the butthole, because the buttholes have been scrubbed clean. This story's called, Am I the Butthole for Not Telling My Wife That I Am Dying? Male, 31 here. For the past 15 years, I've been dealing with a medical condition that requires constant medication and consistent doctor's visits. I'd always been projected to live until 50 to 60-ish. However, a recent complication has cut that down to 12 months, 16 at best. In about 10 months, my condition should start getting a lot worse. After 12 months, I'll essentially be living in the hospital. I am married of 4 years, no kids. I haven't had the heart to tell my wife the news. I don't even know how. We always knew I'd die younger than I wanted to, but we never expected it to be this soon. As much as I know I should tell my wife, I don't want my last year to be plagued with an impending doom. My wife and I have always talked about living abroad somewhere, maybe Australia, but we've never found the time or money to do so. I've been saving up to go to graduate school. However, I don't see much point in that now. So here's my idea. Take some of that money and take my wife to Australia for a few months and enjoy the time together. I have a job I can work remotely from anywhere, and she has a job that she can easily find work anywhere. We can work part-time and enjoy our time together. When we get back, maybe towards the end of it, I'll break the news to her. I just wouldn't want the trip to be ruined for us by constant reminders of me dying. I know my wife, and she's very emotional, to the point where I feel like she'll be crying every day and not enjoying herself. I want this memory to be a good one for her, and not plagued by my time ticking down. Am I the butthole for putting off telling her I am dying? Note, I have life insurance that will take care of her, so I'm not too worried about spending this money now on this trip. And I plan on talking to her about a sperm bank, just in case she decides she wants my kids in the future, as well as premised birthday cards and other things for her to have. Oh man, that's incredibly sad. No. What matters is intention, I think. At least in this case. He wants her to enjoy herself, and yeah. I don't know. That's a sad situation. I hate it. Okay, so that last story was from a year ago, or over a year ago probably, and this one was 9 days ago. Update. Am I the butthole for not telling my wife that I am dying? Hey all, I wasn't sure if I was going to make this update, but things are getting gloomier, and I feel that I owe you guys the closure you deserve for all the help you gave me, as well as the multiple news stories. Although I didn't respond much, due to everything being so new and overwhelming, I want each of you to know that I read every single comment and message multiple times over the past year and a half. I did end up telling my wife soon after the post. She took it rough, as expected. It ruined me to see her that way, but I knew that I needed to tell her. She did enjoy reading through the original thread though, as many of you had heartwarming thoughts and messages. We took the time that we needed to ensure that she would be set up as best as possible. Following that, we went and spent the best 4 months of my life in Australia. The experience was amazing, and I couldn't have asked for a better dying wish. We came back just in time for Brovid. Honestly, I was scared to death, and still am, but somehow I've lasted this long. I've lost much of my strength, and hospice has come in to set up the house and ensure that I am comfortable enough to die. I thought that I would be dead by now, so it is hard to complain about getting a little extra time. I've left a large collection of greeting cards in possession with a friend. Birthdays, first anniversary without me, remarriage, children's birth, and birthdays, if she uses my sperm. I didn't tell her about any of these, just because some of these events aren't guaranteed, but I know that they can help if the time comes around. Overall, I'm content. About as content as I can be. There's a lot of things I would have done differently in life if I had known this would happen, but that's unfortunately out of my control. However, I do know that I did the most I could have done with the remaining time I was given. I am just glad that I had the time left while I still had my health, as I know that many aren't as lucky. Thanks again for all of your help. I'll answer any questions you guys have, so long as it isn't personally identifiable, which includes my medical information, as my town paper was thoughtful enough enough to write an article about me. Just be patient, please. Even typing for long periods of time gets painful. Oh man, I want to cry. Shoot, dog. That's sad. I don't know, man. I don't have a lot to say. I just know that, what's it called? Prognoses are often like reverse inflated, kinda, because, you know, it's good for business. I mean, yeah, you'd probably like to hear a bigger number, but in reality, doctors, they say 6 months and they could mean a lot longer than that. But they look good in the eyes of everyone else if the expectancy's low and they live way longer. But I'm not saying that's the case here, but it's just something interesting to note. But man, OP, first of all, thank you for being so, chill about this. I can imagine a lot of people getting freaked out over being told you've only got a few months to live. Just stay strong till the end, man. What a badass. Oh, and no, you're not the butthole. You weren't the butthole. So just know that, man. This story's called, Am I the Butthole for Causing a Scene After My Friend Said the Gift Was From Her and Not Me? My friend Cece and I decided to do a joint gift for my best friend Allie. We are all in our teens, think 14, 15. Anyway, over the past few months, I've been working on Allie's gift. I'd regularly call Cece up to see if she could help out with things like packaging or picking small things out for Allie. She'd always say she was busy and hang up. I managed to finish Allie's gift on time, and when it came to her birthday, we gave the gift in school at lunch. I handed it to her and gave her the card. Originally on the card, it said, "From me," since I had done everything. Little did I know, Cece had then took it and written her name on it and rubbed mine out. When Allie read it, she gave Cece a hug, then showed the presents and said to everyone, "Look what Cece did!" Everyone started to compliment her, saying how the present was so well done and how did she find the time for it. Cece smiled smugly and then just went on about how she had to put aside time for the present, but it was so worth it seeing how happy Allie was. I lost it. I'm a very emotional person, and this just pushed me over the edge. I started screaming at how I'd spent ages trying to ask Cece to help, yet she never did. How I'd spent months on it, and she hadn't checked up once. Everyone went quiet, and Cece was fuming. I started crying and left. Allie followed me and hugged me. She said she knew it was me who did that, but let Cece have her moment. I was pissed. Very pissed. Cece actually admitted that she didn't do it all, and that I did most of it after all her friends asked her about it. They all texted me saying they were sorry, but that I was a butthole for causing such a scene and ruining Allie's birthday. I know Allie doesn't mind. Cece's ignoring me, but Reddit, am I the antagonist? Butthole person? Edit. Thank you, kind stranger, for that award on a comment of mine. Bless your heart. Update. Well, a bit's happened in the past 10 minutes. Cece actually apologized, which I'm very surprised of, as she hates admitting she's wrong. She then went on to complain about how Allie is such a mean friend and didn't deserve my gift, so she took the credit? What? The entire thing was very confusing, and I ended up blocking her. This post has gotten a lot more attention than I deserve. Thank you, strangers, for the lovely hugs, and thank you, Reddit. I'll have a talk with Allie and maybe try to get her side of things, as well as Cece's been saying things about me as well. It's extremely messy, I know, but teens, right? Second edit. Lovely humans, please stop giving me awards. I really don't deserve it, but thank you, Redditors, for all the judgment and advice to control my emotions and temper. I realize that I may be at fault here as well. Thank you, Reddit. Okay, opinion time. Actually, fact time, because I don't do opinions. I'm always right, just objectively. Anyway, who's the butthole here? Freaking, what's her name? Cece. Okay, was OP 100% in the right? No, you shouldn't make a scene regardless of anything. Okay, that's not true. There are definitely some contexts in which a scene is justified. But this context, no. Freaking out and be like, what are you talking about? I made that gift, and then you look like a person, a victim, and the other person looks like a jerk, because they are a jerk for stealing credit. But anyway, my point is, you should check your emotions. But you didn't do Cece wrong. And if Allie's cool with you making a scene, then yeah, it's cool then. All right, this story's called Update. Right. Am I the butthole for causing a scene after my friend said the gift was from her and not me? Anyways, thank you for all the lovely advice on my post Redditors. After all of it, I talked to my friends, the ones who messaged me, and told them the full situation. Apparently, Cece had told them I was planning to blow up on her at the gathering and to just go along with it, but make me feel terrible afterwards. Basically gaslighting me into thinking I was wrong for standing up for myself. No, it's the manner in which you did it, but that's it. The whole scene with Allie was very tricky. She said Cece had been saying stuff about me before, but didn't want to believe it. She actually didn't know that the present was from me and genuinely thought it was from Cece. After she realized she effed up, she felt so embarrassed she lied to me, which is why she made the "let Cece have her moment" comment. Cece has been ignoring me and won't even look at me. Honestly, I don't even want her to because I don't need her negativity in my life. After realizing how messed up my friend group is, I started talking to others, and it's helped me greatly. I'm no longer best friends with Allie. We're just a little awkward. I'm a little upset that she didn't even recognize my handwriting, and it hurt when she let Cece have the attention, but I'll get over it. I've been controlling my emotions better, breathing exercises, and just overall resisting the urge to scream and cry. So thank you for that, Reddit. I guess that's all you need to know. Thank you so much, Reddit. Edit, please stop giving me rewards. I hardly deserve them. I didn't expect this to blow up so much. Thank you for that. Lots of thank yous, which is good. Gratitude is good. However, I feel like at a certain point, it does get redundant. But, let's talk about teenage girls. I don't have much to say here. I'm glad that she's recognizing toxicity where toxicity is found, within her friend group and within herself even, maybe. Well, I wouldn't say being emotional is toxic though, unless you're like crazy about it, like my parents are. Woo! Anyway, that's what I like to see. Some maturity from the OP. This story's called, Am I the Butthole for Telling My Sister She Needs to Tell My Niece Where Babies Come From Before a Disaster Happens? That's interesting. About a week ago, my daughter, 8, came to my husband and I and asked how come her female guinea pig couldn't have babies, and that her friend's guinea pig, friend has a male and a female, had some. Well, husband and I looked at each other and figured it was time. So, daughter got the talk. We spoke as plainly as we could and also told her to take any questions to us and to not be embarrassed. We have already been big on bodily autonomy, but we also worked that in a bit here. It was fairly uneventful, though she did give us a somewhat horrified look once she put 2 and 2 together and avoided us for the rest of the day after that. So I was recounting this to my sister on the phone yesterday. She was horrified and said 8 was way too young to hear about that type of thing. She then said I needed to tell my daughter not to talk about that with my niece, who is 13, because she doesn't know about it. I was shocked. It turns out niece doesn't know about the mechanics of it all or periods or anything. I got really curt with my sister and told her she needs to tell her niece like yesterday. What's gonna happen when her period comes and she's terrified? I also told my sister if she doesn't know how a baby is made, she's at higher risk for doing the exact thing without any protection, and then you have a bad situation on your hands. This was apparently too far, and my sister hung up the phone on me. I've been getting nasty messages from her and her husband all day. I really don't think I'm the antagonist, but did I take it too far? Am I the antagonist, the butthole, if you will? No. You were consulting something with your sister, the parent of a daughter who's past puberty age, pretty much at this point. Especially for girls, given that they start puberty earlier than guys typically do. So yeah, OP didn't really do anything wrong.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.